Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Starship. This is Captain Eric.
Captain Derek.
And today we're going to bring you everything about ICO investing, at least when it comes to what happens during the bull and bear markets. We've been going through a little bit of a bull market right now. But before we start that, I wanted to give you guys a couple public announcements. We haven't asked this in a while, but I'm going to do the shameless asking right now and say, guys, if you could leave us a rating and a review on iTunes, that would be absolutely outstanding. It would really help us out, or on Overcast or any platform that you're listening to. Also, we have started an official community Telegram group for you. It's Crypto Starship Podcast. That's the group. Just type it in Telegram and you will find us. We're going to start talking there, letting you guys know when we're live, giving you more information about the podcast, putting the links there, asking and answering any of the questions that you guys have. So please, please, please join us there and start the conversation on the Crypto Starship. I have one friend in there right now. His name's Adam. He's from San Francisco. He's the one that requested it. Shout out to you, Adam. Thank you for giving us the suggestion. And don't forget to visit cryptostarship.ai/resources or .ai in general to find everything out about the Crypto Starship. Awesome. Now that public announcement is over, we promise we won't do that too often, probably every episode now, but we probably not too often. Derek, what are your thoughts right now about the current ICO market as it's going into this bull market? And then we'll back up a little bit after that and talk about what happened in January and what happened in the bear market around March and April.
Yeah, so the ICO markets are looking pretty interesting right now. So for the last few months, a lot of ICOs have been having a hard time getting filled. And the ones that end up listing on an exchange tended to basically dump right away. So you would see tokens trade at just above the ICO price. And then after 2 or 3 days, it'll just kind of crash. And then it'll be at 30% of the ICO price for a long time. And I think that made a lot of sense since it was a bear market and people were afraid of altcoins and wanted to move their money essentially back into the bigger tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think now, as the market is picking back up and we've started to see several altcoins like EOS, Tron, various other tokens starting to just do that up into the right kind of spike. We're seeing a good amount of the ICO tokens that are listing start doing well as well. And so, yeah, I think it's an interesting time. Eric and I both do a good amount of ICO investing, so this is definitely something we're paying close attention to.
Yeah, I mean, when we started investing last year, it was quite the Wild West when it came to getting into an ICO, how you got into an ICO, your likelihood, how much gas you had to contribute in order to get into an ICO. It was crazy. And there wasn't many ICOs happening. Maybe one a week in the beginning, then one a day. And now it's like 30 a day today or something like that. It's kind of ridiculous. But in the run up to January, there was a ton of ICO investing and a lot of returns for the most part. Now, don't quote me on this, but almost every ICO had some level of return to it during the bull run up to January. And then as January happened, as we hit 1,400, 19,000, 1,400 Ethereum, 19,000 Bitcoin, and we kind of turned mid-January downwards. Not hard, but we started to turn downwards. ICOs became less and less profitable or had a smaller return, if any. And that continued to go down into February of this year to the point where around that time, people slowly stopped investing in ICOs as much. It kind of, in general, slowed down. You weren't investing in an ICO a day or 2 ICOs a day or looking at ICOs nonstop. You kind of slowed down the ICO investing. And as Derek said, right now the bulls are starting to push back, punch through some new highs. I think Ethereum was $800 today, down from its lows of mid 300s a month ago. And we're starting to see people looking and becoming interested in ICOs again. Now, does that translate into an ICO a day? I don't think so. I actually think it's going to change. I mean, what happened these past few months is going to change the way investors look at ICOs and how they analyze them. But it's been quite the interesting roller coaster ride from end of last year to today.
Yeah, there was definitely a time where every ICO that was legitimate and got any amount of hype was basically a profitable investment. And I think the way people participate in ICOs has changed a lot over the last year. like Eric said in the beginning, it was essentially a gas war, right? This ICO is raising $20 million, and it's whoever can shove the $20 million into the smart contract first that makes the
Yep.
money. So people are at exactly the time the ICO opens, competing with each other on how much gas they can put into their transactions, spamming the Ethereum network to try and get into these ICOs. And then whitelists were invented, and people started to have to whitelist for things. And instead of it being a gas competition, it was about who can kind of whitelist for these deals first. And then crowd sales started to get canceled. So I think a lot of this is because of the SEC and because of various regulatory issues that ICOs stopped doing crowd sales and instead went to private sales and pre-sales. And then people started investing in groups instead of investing in individually. And right now, I think where we're at is where, like Eric said, there's like a proliferation of ICO deals. Some of them are doing crowd sales, some of them are only doing pre-sales. And what we're seeing is a lot more caution on the part of investors. I know Eric and I, we're approaching the market a lot more cautiously than before. And I think there's a general consensus that people want to be investing in the infrastructure side of the business. So rather than investing in applications, everyone's trying to get into the new blockchains and the new protocol layers. Yeah, that's kind of my sense of the market right now.
Coming out, exactly. And you'll see less and less investment in dApps. There's definitely some that are still doing well, but you're going to see less and less investment in products that come out that don't have a solid foundation connected to the blockchain, that doesn't have a solid community, that doesn't have a roadmap and a team that is professional enough to actually get to the place where the roadmap says it's going to be. There's a lot of triggers now that you look for in order to make sure you're investing properly or in ICOs that could potentially be profitable. And we'll continue to see this change over time, especially with the SEC regulations, the question whether Ethereum is a security, which is being talked about a lot right now. Those are all interesting topics that are going to kind of shape the way ICOs work. And as we talked about on our last episode, Telegram canceled, like Derek said, their big ICO that was supposed to be coming out any month now. It got canceled because of the SEC regulation, and most of those investors, I think it was under 200, were private individuals, high net worth individuals, and venture capitalists that invested in Telegram. And I think you're going to see that more and more and more, where it's going to be more private, high net worth individuals that are investing in these pre-ICOs. And you're going to lose a lot of like the idea of an ICO or initial coin offerings become, I think, it's going to continue to shrink, especially as you see more security tokens, as you see more regulated tokens. You're going to see less individuals contributing to ICOs. But it's always going to be a place where even if an individual can't invest in ICO, they're going to do everything they can to try to get into it anyways. And that's going to be an interesting market dynamic that will happen over time as these ICOs continue to come out, especially the infrastructure plays, whether that be OneChain, Ethereum, any Lisk, any of the blockchain build dApps on top of this blockchain plays are what a lot of people are looking on, including one of the major things that people are really looking for is how do we increase transactional speed. And the more blockchains that come out that do better at transactional speed, I think the more investments that are going to go into that. Now, if the bull run continues over the next few months, it'll be quite interesting to see how many people get back into the ICO game who've kind of stepped away from it over the past few months. I've seen a lot of my friends get back into it, and some of the community members and communities starting to pick up more and more conversation again as the positive vibes come back into the market. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, Derek.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of optimism than we had in, let's say, September. September was kind of reckless, all, head first dive into the pool kind of optimism. And right now it's more like, well, I just got shot last month, but it looks safe. So I'm going to tiptoe back in and see if I don't die. It's a bit, more cautious.
Yeah.
But I think, people are starting to be hopefully and cautiously optimistic.
We're wearing bulletproof vests as we walk into this fight this time. And it's going to be a little different, hopefully. And I think it's a good thing. I talk about this all the time. Like these ups and downs, first of all, will start allowing us to understand the market better, allow us to think about the market better, have better approaches to the market, the way that the blockchain is going to evolve. As you go through these ups and downs, that's when you really start to, when you get kicked we get punched, when you are a holder and you lose money, like that's when you start to evolve as a human being to really understand, okay, what is my risk tolerance? How do I know how to approach this? What is good to put in, what is bad? Maybe I shouldn't mortgage my house or put this all on my credit cards. Maybe my fundamental financial approach to life should still be in place, and I shouldn't throw everything away just because this crazy hype and FOMO. And I think that will hopefully help investors learn and grow over time as we've gone through these ups and downs. But I do believe we're starting to see the ICO trend, ICO investment trend coming back into play, and will continue to grow over this year.
Yeah, agreed. And just to piggyback on a few things you said, first, I think the infrastructure and protocol thing is really interesting because at some point, you can't just keep building infrastructure forever, right? You're building a foundation for something. Infrastructure is there to lay the foundation for the promise that crypto is supposed to bring, right? So I do think that at some point dApps are gonna be the key thing. Just like if you look at the internet in the beginning, AOL was a great investment, right? Microsoft and Intel is a great investment, but at some point you get the Googles and the Facebooks. At some point the value chain moves from we're building something new and we need to lay the foundation, and the businesses that are doing the best are the ones that are enabling other people to come onto the internet or build businesses, and we're laying the groundwork, and the groundwork is where the money is, which is kind of the phase we're in right now in crypto. But at some point there's going to be an inflection point at which the actual applications that are on top of those infrastructure is where the strong investments are made. And the infrastructure wars are probably going to end at some point. So I'm not saying that's anytime soon, but I do notice that the investor crowd is now basically everyone agrees that infrastructure is where they want to be investing. And when everyone in the crowd agrees on something, that's usually the time when you want to be like, we should be thinking one step ahead of this and trying to predict, where the next step of the future is, and not necessarily always be investing with the crowd. Although I do think right now investing in infrastructure is the right way to go. So
yeah, completely. And Derek is not giving you any financial or investing advice. Neither of us are. We're just giving you our personal opinion, and we'll repeat that at the end of this episode. But this is exactly right. Staying one step ahead. And my favorite thing in the world right now, Derek, actually is every blockchain project that comes out now is like, Bitcoin was blockchain 1.0, Ethereum was blockchain 2.0, and only we are blockchain 3.0. Nobody else except the hundreds of other people saying the same exact thing. I'm waiting for someone to come out and be like, everyone else was blockchain 3.0, we're blockchain 4.0. It's really great marketing. Go watch all these infrastructure plays videos, and they have similar things to say about blockchain 3.0, and it makes me laugh every time that the same marketing approach for all these ICOs are used to get to people. Oh, if you want to be left behind, keep investing in Ethereum. If you want to get involved in the future, invest with us. That's basically the tagline of all these ICOs.
Yeah, I think the best ones are the ones that are running ads on YouTube, and either the Epic Voice or have you seen the Bunny token ads? Oh my God.
I have not.
Oh man. Yeah. I get the craziest ads for ICOs, generally really bad, but yeah.
I have ad blocker on. I have ad blocker on. Maybe I should take that off.
Oh yeah. You should totally take it off. I don't put on ad blockers just because the ads are priceless.
MasterCard. Anyways, guys, this was a quick introduction to a little bit of an approach we're going to take. I want to let you know, Derek and I have been talking. Some of our podcasts coming up will be individualized. So Derek will be doing some podcasts by himself, and I'll be doing some podcasts by myself, depending on the week and the time. There's no schedule to them. It's just going to happen. I just want to let you know that. We will be doing some more interview podcasts in the future, but they're probably going to be more rare than our one-on-one conversations. I'm hoping you're liking the new format. Join Crypto Starship podcast on Telegram to let us know. And we're also going to be sending out a quick 2 or 3 question survey in the next week or two. And we'd love for you guys to fill that out and help us out, help the community out, help us grow. Once again, guys, please share this podcast and leave a review for us. We would really, really appreciate it. It would help us out a ton. We love you guys.
Leave a review on iTunes.
And anything that you guys want from us, shoot us a message on the Telegram group. If you have any questions, I really want to do a Ask Crypto Starship, Ask Captain Eric and Captain Derek episode. So if we can get some people into the Telegram, we'll answer those questions directly with you guys. Anyways, that's it for tonight, guys. I am Captain Eric.
Captain Derek.
And we are exiting the Crypto Starship universe.
The Crypto Starship is a production of Starship Media LLC. The contents of the show, including our videos, podcasts, and our website, are provided for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investing, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any financial, investing, trading, or life decisions based on our show. Understand that investing or trading in digital assets has potential risks involved. Before investing, make sure to do your own due diligence and consult with a professional financial advisor.